So let's talk about the coming recession. Today, I want to help you to be proactive. See, that's the difference between those who survive and those who fall apart during down economies, like during the shutdowns of the pandemic, during the last few recessions that my company survived. So I want to help you with being proactive. And I want you to remember that word. If you have to print it out on a piece of paper and hang it on the wall and look at it every single day, the word of the day is proactive. And the second word of the day is anticipate. Anticipate. So anticipation is like having a crystal ball without being magical. It's like I can kind of see the future, right? I can feel it. I can see it. So being proactive and anticipating. So this is why I've been talking about the coming recession and the market crash. I am anticipating this, and I'm not alone. So even though I have felt this for a while, I am now hearing it from people who know a lot more about business than I do. So I have lived through several recessions and economic downturns, obviously including the pandemic. My business is bigger coming through that pandemic than it's ever been in history. In 40 years of business, we have survived the pandemic, but we've grown by leaps and bounds in unusual ways. My business run rate right now is at $2.7 million annually. That is our annual run rate, 2.7 million. And right at the end of pandemic, we were just below 2 million. I mean, that is ridiculous growth. And it's pretty exciting. So the word of the day that I really want you to remember, somebody can type it into the comments right now. I want you to type in anticipate, because I'm going to quiz you later and ask what's the word of the day, and let's see if you guys remember. Hey Victoria, good to see you. Hey Jennifer, good to see you. Hey Karen, great to see you. And Jane. All right. Oh, and thank you Teresa for posting the link. The word of the day is anticipate. So like I started out saying, I have lived through several recessions and economic downturns, and I want to prepare for the worst right now. I want to prepare for the worst, but I will pray for the best. How's that for you? Prepare for the worst, but pray for the best. Anticipate. People who prepare are being proactive instead of reactive. A major market crash and a recession is around the corner. Worse than a lot of what I believe people think. I think people have had it easy for so many years. I mean, the last 5 years have been really pretty easy in this country, that I think when people think, yeah, a recession is coming, it's kind of scary. I don't think we realize how bad this one's going to be. And I hope I'm wrong, but I believe, and other experts are saying, that it's coming in anywhere from 6 to 24 months. Now, I don't think it's going to take 24 months. I really don't. But I'm going to say 6 months to a year, we're going to be full on recession, right? So if we have one more quarter, so our first quarter of the year, our economy went backwards, right? We went down. Our economy went down. If we go down a second quarter, so that's 6 months in a row of a downturn, that's called a recession, right? So depending on how the folks in Washington, D.C., how they handle trying to artificially prop up the economy, which, they all do, right? They try to artificially prop up the economy, will determine how long it takes for the recession to get here. But make no mistake, it's coming. And 90% of America is not ready for this. Studies show 90% of America is not ready. Derek Christian shared with us on our call yesterday that he shared, actually, this wasn't in Momentum, this was Pros. I got this backwards, but he shared that 24 out of 28 million businesses in America are like 2 weeks away from not having any money in the bank. That, there's just no reserves. People aren't saving. People don't have reserves. And especially in the cleaning industry, people have such terrible profit margins in the cleaning industry often, where the owner isn't even paying themselves, right? They're like making 30 grand a year and they work 90 hours a week. So many independent businesses that are like 2 weeks away from running out of money. That's kind of scary. This is one reason why I've been talking in our private groups a lot about profit. and getting healthy and getting lean, because I want you to be ready for the recession. I don't want you to go into the recession already broke, right? Overspending, being reckless with your expenses. So now's the time to make sure your profits are being protected. That's one of the things we teach in CBF is how to protect your profits, because most cleaning businesses, as you grow and you add employees and you add complexity and you add cars and you add marketing and you wrap your cars and you have to insure your cars, and then you have all these employees and they're all being paid hourly and they milk the clock. What happens? Your profits erode, right? As you grow your business, your profits erode. Oh, your revenue is growing. Nice. Your revenue is big. You're like, look at me. I hit 500,000. Look at me. I hit 1,000,000 or 800,000, right? So your revenue grows, but your profit shrinks, right? So we've been talking a lot about profit in our group, about getting healthy, getting back to the basics, paying attention to the CBF profit model. And those of you who are not in CBF, you need to know, what is your profit model? You have to get healthy before you get sick, before the economy gets sick. So I don't want you to be caught asleep at the wheel. So here's something I want to remind you. And Leanne kind of asked about this because she's looking for hope. Recessions are the best time to build wealth, but only the prepared will prevail. So I'm going to say that again. Recessions are the best time to build wealth, but only the prepared will prevail. So I want you to prepare now. We might be 6 months away. We might be 12 months away from the recession. Prepare now. You know, everyone has business quite easy right now, right? I know it's hard to find employees, but in terms of finding customers, you can quote just about any amount you want and they will jump in your funnel and say yes, right? So Elon Musk just this past week, so it might have been Monday, or it was either this week or late last week, but Elon Musk announced work from home does not work. Come back or quit. And he talked about how these people that are faking working a 40-hour week from home, you're really working 30 hours a week and goofing off. He said, that's over. Come back to work or quit, right? He got tough. This whole work from home thing, it's made America lazy. People aren't really working that hard. People have discovered the last couple of years, you really don't have to work hard to make it. And I'm not talking about cleaning business owners. I think cleaning business owners are some of the hardest working people in the world. I really do, because I know you. I've been coaching cleaning business owners for over 15 years. I've been a cleaning business owner for over 40 years. Yeah, I was 10 when I started my business. But the truth is, America has gotten really lax and kind of lazy, and it's been coasting for a couple of years with all that PPP loan money and grants, and when businesses shut down, how the government paid extra premiums on top of unemployment benefits. It's been crazy. And then I believe it was this week as well that Tesla announced that they will fire 10% of their workforce. Okay, CEOs all over the country are getting ready for the recession. Somebody asked Elon Musk on Twitter, and I'm not like an Elon Musk fan. It's just that he's a billionaire. So, listen to billionaires. I have a feeling he knows a little more about business than I do. But somebody was asking him about the recession coming, and he said, yes. Somebody was asking, do you believe that we're about to embark on a recession? He said, yes, but this is actually a good thing. It has been raining money on fools far too long. Some bankruptcies need to happen. Now, that's kind of harsh, right? Most people are like, oh, that's harsh. I was like, yeah, but that's a reality, right? There are some companies that need to go out of business. Some of your competitors that are slackers, they're not doing business legitimately. They're taking cash under the table. They're what we used to call the underground cleaners. They're undercutting prices. They're paying people really low wages. They're paying their workers under the table. They're not doing things ethically or legally. Okay? Some of those companies will go out of business. They won't survive the recession. And it's okay. If you're doing business wrong, if you're giving our great industry a bad name because you're cheap prices and you're using cheap labor and possibly illegal labor, and you're practicing unethical practices, you don't pay your taxes, you're cheating the system, I'm okay with you losing your shirt during the recession. Some companies will go bankrupt, and this needs to happen, he said. He said also the COVID stay at home stuff has tricked people into thinking that you don't actually need to work hard. Rude awakening inbound. I just got a kick out of his tweet, so I had to share that with you. But here's the thing, whether you love him or hate him, I think he knows the thing about the economy and what's coming, and he just laid off 10% of his workforce. Why? Because the bigger companies tend to get bloated with excessive expenses and inefficient labor. It is natural. It's a natural byproduct of growth, because with growth brings complexity and complacency. So some of the largest cleaning businesses, you guys think, oh, I'm so nervous, I'm a small company. You're actually safer than the big companies who have become fat and sloppy and lazy, right? These half a million, a million and a half, $2 million cleaning companies that have gotten complacent, who have taken for granted how stinking easy it is to win a customer. They're oftentimes the hardest ones to fall. Why? Because they've allowed their overhead to balloon. They've spent too much money on labor. The owner isn't even coming in anymore, right? And so now they got people that they've outsourced everything to, and their overhead is very high. And they've lost labor efficiency, which is something we talk about in CBF all the time. Labor efficiency is the lifeblood of your business. And so sometimes the biggest cleaning companies are the ones that fall. In fact, Derek and I were talking, and again, this was on our pro call, not our momentum call. So if you're on momentum, you're like, I missed that. This was our pro call. Sometimes I get those two confused. I don't know why. Probably because both groups are amazing and I love them both. But Derek was talking about how he had kind of counted in his head the largest cleaning companies back when he and I and many of us kind of in the early days of ARCSI, which is a part of ISSA, the Worldwide Trade Association, how we were all on this board of directors with the largest residential cleaning companies. And back then, the largest companies were $1 million, right? I was in one of the largest companies back then. Everybody else was below $500,000. It was very hard to find $1 million cleaning companies. Now, with all the coaching and the great programs that are available with CBF, I mean, we've made more mop-free millionaires than anybody. So we have over 33 people with those mop-free millionaire green jackets that we give out at our CBF Live. We have over 33. That represents $33 million right from my little community of people who are active, not even counting all the people that I've lost track of, right? So, but he was counting all the people that had $1 million cleaning companies that are out of business. They're gone. They did not survive the last recession or the pandemic. They're gone. They're gone. The big companies, they should have doubled. They should be with me, 2 million, 2.7 million, right? They're gone. They closed. Some of them sold for pennies on the dollar. Some of them closed flat out. Don't let that be you. So anyway, back to, so Tesla announced 10% will be fired of their employees. They're getting ready to tighten the belt. I'm telling you, that's what they're getting ready for. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan Chase said the Fed only has a 33% chance to avoid a recession, meaning we have a 66% chance of a recession. I think people at JP Morgan probably are pretty good predictors of the economic future. And then billionaire financier Carl Icahn predicts a recession or even worse. What does that mean? I don't even know. I think that would mean a recession and a market crash, which I think everyone is sort of predicting. America's billionaires are predicting a recession, right? Some are saying that a 40% market correction will happen in 2023. And so I was listening to something on the news, it might have been yesterday, where they were analyzing all the different recessions in the past. And they went back like 20 years, recessions, deep recessions, the Great Depression, where the market corrected. And I can't really explain what that means. I'm not an economist, but they explained it and I understood it, but I couldn't repeat it. But, like the worst market correction I think we ever saw, lasted 3-4 years. And it was like 53%, right? The economy correction was at 53%. But in times past, market corrections are like 36%, 39%, 40%, 43%. It's tough. Okay. It's tough. So I have felt for a while, and I've been preaching this for over a year, that you know how wages have jumped significantly since the pandemic, since everything opened back up. And now people who used to hire employees for 15 an hour are having to pay 20 an hour or 18 an hour. I mean, wages jumped significantly almost overnight. And I've said all along that was a market correction. Okay. That isn't a labor shortage. Wages have been too low for too long, right? We don't need the government to tell us what minimum wage is. As entrepreneurs, we know what minimum wage is. It is whatever minimum we can attract a worker with. And I'm sorry, I haven't been able to attract a worker to clean houses for 15 years for less than 20 an hour. So that was a market adjustment in the wage industry, right? That's not a result of labor shortage. The labor shortage just illuminated the fact that y'all just been paying too low. Your business model is so broken, you couldn't afford to pay market wages for residential cleaning. Now you were forced to raise your prices and raise your pay, which is the gospel I've been preaching for about a year. Raise your prices, raise your pay, raise your prices, raise your pay. That's a market correction where it dramatically shifts and changes like overnight. So that's what that was what they were explaining. A market correction is where you see prices jump dramatically overnight. That's inflation. And where you see the economy shifts quickly and dramatically overnight. It's not like a little bit each year. It's dramatic. It's significant all at one time. Wells Fargo CEO warns it's going to be hard to avoid some kind of a recession. Former President of the Federal Reserve, Bill Dudley, said, very, very unlikely that the Fed can tame inflation without sparking a recession. 75% of Fortune 500 CEOs, when polled, just said that they are bracing for a recession. Okay, are you going to prepare for a recession, or are you going to put your head under the covers and hope it doesn't happen? Which one will you? Will you be proactive or reacting when it's here? Will you anticipate or will you be surprised? So should we be concerned about a recession and a market crash? Those of us in the cleaning industry, should we be concerned? I can tell you over the years of business that when the market, stock market goes down, my lead flow, my phone calls get quiet with sales leads. It gets quiet. So should we be concerned? What do you think? What do you think? This is a yes or no question. Should we be concerned? Should we be concerned? My son works for Tesla. True statement. Oh yeah, Cindy. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I heard that right. I thought, well, did I get that wrong? 10% is a lot. That's a lot of people to cut from your company. But I guarantee you it's just trimming the fat is what it is. Yes, we should be concerned. Thank you, Raylene. What's the word of the day, guys? Type it into the comments. What's the word of the day? I led with this. The word of the day. What's the word of the day? Type it in. Susie says, we need to be creative. More than creative, Susie, you need to be proactive. More than creative, I want you to be proactive. I want you to be intentional. Anticipate. Chrissia, thank you. Thank you. Anticipate. So when I talk about anticipation, this is an anticipation game. Leading in business, winning when others are failing is an anticipation game. Everything about business right now is about anticipating so you can play defense, right? So great generals anticipate, great football coaches anticipate, great military leaders anticipate, great presidents anticipate, great founders anticipate. And you need to play the anticipation game. So what are you going to do today to prepare for this recession? What are you going to do? Right? Are you going to wait till it hits in 12 months? You're going to be half asleep. What are you doing now to prepare? This is a great quote I just pulled. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. Success is 90% preparation. This is why the CBF program itself has been so successful. It just helps you prepare your business for growth. Most people are just growing their business by the seat of their pants. They're growing their business through sheer grit, right? Sheer grit. Well, that's why when they join CBF and they actually have all the tools and all the systems to prepare the foundation correctly, boom, their growth explodes. We see CBF members who join our program in the first year 10x their investment all the time. 10x their investment. And yes, CBF is below $10,000. We see people 10x their investment all the time. We see people tell us their first year they made 70, 80, 100, 150, 200, $250,000 more in sales since joining CBF when they couldn't reach those levels of business success all the years prior, right? So what are you doing to prepare? What are you doing now? I will tell you the most important skills you need to sharpen to be prepared for when the recession hits in 6 months, 12 months, up to 24 months from today. And you know what? If it takes 24 months for the recession to get here, great. That's 24 months of preparation. For some of you, it's 24 months of resting on your laurels for others. Okay. I want you to look at your marketing skills. I want not your marketing budget, your marketing skills. Do you have a marketing and branding strategy? I don't care about your tactics. Tactics change and come and go with the wind. I don't care if you're marketing on Facebook or marketing on Google. I don't care if you're doing some door hangers or placing ads on Home Advisor, or posting on Home Advisor or Nextdoor. I don't care what your tactics are in marketing. Have you mastered the skill of a marketing strategy, a marketing and branding strategy? Ask yourself, do I know what I'm doing with marketing? Am I wasting my money that I am spending on marketing? Could I get more customers out of a dollar than I'm getting right now? Am I tracking and measuring my marketing results? I don't even know what to track. I don't know what to measure. Do you have healthy conversion rates and a healthy customer return on investment for your marketing spend, right? Those are things you must prepare for. You can go buy books on marketing. You can buy books on marketing and branding strategy. You could read 10 books between now and next year on marketing if you feel like marketing is your weakest link, right? For most of us, marketing has not been a big problem for the last 2 years. People are just flooding residential cleaning businesses like crazy. My business can't even keep up with the demand. We've cut our marketing budget now for 2 years in a row and going on 3 years. We've cut our marketing budget. I haven't cut my marketing budget in ages because usually your marketing budget should always be increasing with the size of your business. Well, we've actually cut it because it's become easy to get customers. Are you a savvy marketer? Sharpen those skills. Go take marketing training. We're about to roll out some marketing trainings here at CBF, and we will include some trainings for non-CBF members. But we're going to be doing some marketing training because I believe that people are going to need that more than ever sometime over the next 12 to 24 months. So sharpen your marketing skills. Another skill you must sharpen. Another skill you must sharpen. And this is a skill. People think this is a thing. It's not a thing. It's a skill. And that is protecting your profit. So you need to be amazing at marketing because it's going to be harder to get a customer, win a customer, and keep a customer. But secondly, you have to develop, improve, or master the skill of protecting your profit. And why do I put it that way? Protecting your profit. Because profit is not guaranteed. I mean, you can sell all day long. You can collect those checks and put them in the bank all day long. But if you're writing checks to the almost the exact break-even amount or below break-even amount, operating in the red, if you're writing more checks than you're depositing, you're not profitable. And if you don't know how to protect your profit, I guarantee you your profits are already eroding. Let me give you an example. So if somebody start writing these points down. Point number 1 is master the skill of marketing and branding. Point number 2, master the skill of protecting your profits. So that's point number 2, protecting your profits. My business was stuck at $1 million for 20 years. I hadn't even realized how long we had been stuck there until I went back and did the math. And I'm like, oh, this is the year we hit 1 million. And this is the year we decided it was time to grow above 1 million. I was at $1 million for 20 years. Thank you, Chrissia. Oh, Chrissy, if you weren't on the pro call, you need to go catch the replay on this one. I don't know if you were there or not, but yeah, make sure you catch the replay on this. But not on this, but on the pro call, the advanced pros call. I realized, and this is one of those things that this is maybe part of the reason that I have the #1 residential cleaning business coaching program in the world. It is because I still own a cleaning business, right? I didn't sell my business 20 years ago, and I've been coaching ever since. I didn't have this tiny little business, and then I decided to create courses because I couldn't make enough money with my tiny little business, right? So I still have a cleaning business. So I actually learn with all of you. When the market changes, I learn how to pivot. When pandemic hit, I learned how to change my business, right? I learned how to communicate to the customers so they weren't afraid to use our service. I learned how to hang on to my business and even grow through the pandemic. So, I've had my business for 40 years, but I realized I was stuck for 20 years at $1 million. Well, here's what happens when you stay flat. So if you're like, yeah, I'm fine. I've been at $500,000 for 5 years, or I've been at $1 million for 5 years, I'm fine. If your business has stayed the same in revenue year after year after year, you will make less money every year that you stay the same. Why? Because revenue is $1 million this year. Labor is a little more next year. Office rent is more next year. Office supplies are more next year. Insurance is more next year. Marketing costs are more next year. But I'm still at $1 million. And then the following year, then the next year, I'm still at $1 million. But all my office staff, their wages got higher. Now people have 2 weeks of paid vacation instead of 1 week. Supplies cost more, gas costs more, everything costs more, but I'm still at $1 million. So what's happening? My revenues are still at $1 million, but my profits are shrinking, right? My profits are shrinking. That little space between overhead and expenses and profit and my revenue is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So to stay at $1 million for 20 years, I didn't get this back then. I get it now, but I didn't get it back then. I couldn't understand why is there less and less money? We're still bringing in $1 million. We're still bringing in $1 million. It didn't click. It's not that I'm stupid. It didn't click. So if you've been at the same size revenue for more than a year, your profits are already eroding. And if you've been right around the same size, some people go up and go down and go up and go down. It's like, well, sometimes I'm finally hitting 30,000 a month, and then I drop down to 25,000 a month, and then, 22,000 a month. And so like, okay, on a great part of the year, you might hit a high number, but then you drop back down. If you've been staying there for a while, your profits are eroding because everything else is going up. Labor, administrative costs, more payroll benefits, everything. So you have to protect your profit to be ready for a recession. And if you don't have a profit model that you know exactly what it is, your business is already in trouble. So that's one of the most important things we do in CBF is we give you a profit model that works for the residential cleaning industry so that you don't spend outside of the profit model so that you can pay yourself well. Cleaning business owners should be making 6 figures a year. That's over 100 grand. If you're not able to pay yourself at least 100 grand a year, you're just doing it wrong. It's not that there's something wrong with the market. This is the best industry I've seen. I love this industry. It's so much better than restaurants or daycares. I mean, right? How many of you love this industry? You just love cleaning. I love cleaning, right? I don't do it anymore, but I still love it. It's therapeutic. How many of you love this industry? You love cleaning. You love the smell of Pine Sol and Dow's foaming spray and Tilex. I know I'm really talking old school right now, but I can't stand Fabulosis. I think that's the stinkiest product on the market. I love a clean home. Who doesn't, Chrissia? And aren't you glad so many others do too? And Chrissia and John, they have huge business. They have a huge business. They're in our advanced group. So anyway, so number 2 point is protect your profit and prepare now, anticipate now. This is the time to cut the waste. Invest in your brain. Don't invest in silly trainings that you probably won't even log in and follow. Don't invest in ridiculous trainings by people who are not experts. Don't waste your money on stuff that won't help you make more money and live better. So that's point number 2. And then point number 3. Point number 3. Let me go find my my notes here. So the last thing I'm going to emphasize to prepare you for the coming recession is pricing and bidding accurately. Pricing and bidding accurately. You can be kind of sloppy with this right now because you can win pretty much any customer that calls you. If you've got the labor, they're going to give you the credit card. But you need to have a strategy for pricing jobs. You can't just pull numbers out of the air. You have to understand what is per billable hour rate. What does that mean? You have to understand what that means, because I don't care that we all charge flat rates. Of course we charge flat rates, but we have to have a minimum per billable hour rate. You have to understand the formula in your business for quoting jobs accurately. And when you quote jobs accurately identifying the amount of time that should be assigned to that job. So labor efficiency. So many cleaning businesses, especially those of you who have teams, you're not really accurately assessing how much labor time it really should take to clean the job, right? And so most cleaning companies, especially the ones that have teams of 2, 3, and 4, right? Most cleaning companies really struggle with what I call labor efficiency. And you cannot price and bid the job accurately at the top of the price scale if you don't have labor efficiency. If you are paying for time that's wasted. And when you're paying for time that's wasted, and we are asking our customers to pay for time that's wasted, they won't. And that comes in the form of a no, thank you, that's expensive click. So really understanding the whole process around the system of pricing and bidding jobs so well that you can hand that off to a salesperson and they will also be as accurate as you would be. Understanding the whole system of pricing and bidding the job so that you can price and bid accurately so that you can require labor efficiency. So many of you are taking 4 hours to clean a house that my company can clean in 3. And I'm sorry, my Google ratings are 4.8. I'm proud of that. And we have 379 Google reviews and our ratings are 4.8. So don't tell me we must clean sloppy. It's just that you don't have labor efficiency, right? And so you can't charge at the top of the price scale. So you can't win new clients when you're charging more than everybody else when you struggle with labor efficiency. So make sure that your business is run as lean and efficient as possible. So those are the 3 things: pricing and bidding accuracy with labor efficiency. So I guess you could say that's 4. Protecting your profit and marketing. Those are skills you have to hone in on in order to survive a recession. And then you can go beyond surviving and you can thrive during a recession. So let me share with you just quickly my story. So I lived through two really bad recessions. One happened at right after 9/11, and our economy tanked. The dot-com bubble burst, and the housing bubble burst, and people were going bankrupt and losing their homes. It was pretty intense. And I almost lost my business during that time because I didn't know what I was doing. I had grown through sheer grit. I had grown by the seat of my pants. I didn't grow through systems. So I didn't really know why my business worked, and it really didn't. And so the economy and weaknesses in the economy exposed all of my weaknesses. And I almost lost my business. And then um, another time I almost lost my business was, I don't know, around 2004, and I was really struggling. 2004, 2005, we had another recession. Um, and I almost lost my business because I still wasn't on strong ground. I still had not been careful about protecting my profits. They had been eroding. I was still sloppy with my marketing. And I just did not have a careful handle on my systems. And I wasn't protecting all of these fundamentals in my business. And so it began to slip backwards again. Now I was able to quickly pull myself out of that one. And then when the recession really hit deep in 2006, I had pulled myself out. I think it was 2004, 2005. But then by 2006, when it got worse, I pulled myself out. I shook myself off. I got tight on profitability. I got tight on pricing jobs and winning sales, and labor efficiency, and really good at marketing. And I grew during the 2006, 2008 recession. I grew. We took on so much ground during that time. It was amazing. So all I'm saying is, if you prepare ahead of time, you don't have to be caught off guard. If you wait till the recession is here, it could be too late for you. And the bigger your business, the harder you will fall. So now's the time to prepare. Now's the time to get really smart. Now's the time to invest in your training. Don't invest in fluff. Don't go to conferences just because they're fun. Attend things that are going to help you learn how to make more money, be more profitable, close more sales. Invest in getting better at everything you're weak on in your business. Now's the time to improve your labor efficiencies, to raise your prices while people are still paying more. Now's the time to look at your expenses and ask yourself, what is that expense? Why am I paying for that every month? All these subscriptions that you lose track of that you're not even using, software programs that you signed up for that you're paying 20 bucks a month or 30 bucks a month that you're not using, right? There's so much inefficiencies in our business when we stop paying attention. Inefficient administrative team. So your admin team isn't generating revenue. They better be efficient, right? You might have one more person in the office than you need. Maybe you've gotten slack and you are the person that should be showing up in the office more. I'm not talking going back to working 90 hours a week. I'm talking about just working a normal 40-hour week. If you aren't supposed to be retired or an absentee owner, have you just abdicated your responsibilities because you're burned out and you have inefficient staff in your office sucking up a paycheck but not generating revenue? Now's the time to look at that. Now's the time to look at that. So one of our topics, our advantage day, our bonus day at CBF Retreat this year is how to hire an office manager, right? You need to hire people better if you're going to put them on your leadership team. And then the 2 days of our retreat, the theme is building a self-managing team. You need your team to be so efficient and to be able to run without you so that you can be off in the corner thinking and creating solutions. Like Susie said earlier, we got to be more creative. You've got to be in the corner getting creative, getting smart, pivoting, not just doing, cleaning another house, checking another house, going on another estimate, closing another sale, processing payments. You can't be doing. You'll have no time for thinking, or creating. So now's the time to get your business healthy, to prepare for the coming recession and market crash. It's not a matter of if it will happen. It is only a matter of when. I hope we have more than 6 months ahead of us to prepare. I want to encourage you to prepare now. So really quick as I close this out. Sales success training. Oh, and what's the word of the day, guys? Oh, thank you, Chrissy. Number 4, labor efficiency. Thank you. Number 3, pricing and bidding accurately. Thank you, Chrissy, keeping me on track. What's the word of the day, guys? Type it in. Word of the day. Type it in. I want to see as many of you as possible type in the word of the day, even if you see somebody else wrote it. And then I'm done because I got myself a little glass of wine here. Word of the day. I've worked hard today. How many of you have worked hard today? If you're in the cleaning industry, I know you worked hard. Okay. Empires are built in every recession. Thank you, Eric. One of the times in our country's history where we created more millionaires than at any other time in the history of America was during the Great Recession. So thank you, Eric, for that reminder. Anticipate, Sarah says, and Eric and Maureen. Anticipate, Kate. Guys, I want you to get a sign and hang it on your wall that says anticipate. Anticipate. Because if you don't anticipate, you will have to be surprised. And actually, I've actually never liked surprises. I've always told my husband, I don't like surprise parties. I don't really like surprises. Don't surprise me with a trip. I want to know well in advance so I can get mentally ready and go buy what I want for my trip. Surprises in business are rarely good, almost never. Okay. Surprises are almost never. So the opposite of surprise, which is usually not good in business, is anticipate. You're going to be ready for this. And your competition is not going to be ready. And when your competition is falling apart, you're going to be there able to say, well, you know what? I have some profit. I'd be happy to buy you out and take in, put you out of your misery, right? And you can buy their business out for pennies on the dollar in a recession when they're about to close and lose it anyway, right? So fortunes are made during recessions as well as bankruptcies happen in recessions. Don't be one of them. All right. Sarah says, cheers. Thank you, Sarah. All right. Eric says, my favorite quote, champions made adjustments, not excuses. Time to adjust. Exactly. Time to adjust. Champions are made during this time. Quitters will disappear. So guys, now's the time to be healthy. And I'm not saying just, join CBF. There are other courses. If you find something that's better, go find it, but go invest in your mind. Go invest in your brain. Go buy books on the one topic that you are the weakest in. So too many of you are out buying every book that everybody says, oh, go read this book. And all your reading and all your training is random. That's a mistake. That gets you nowhere. Random advice is a waste of time because you can't apply random advice. Oh, let me go read that book. Oh, let me go read that book. Oh, let me take that course. Oh, let me do that. Let me do that. Random advice cannot be applied. You have to have advice that is organized into a system that you can actually follow. So if you know you're weak on profitability, go read every book you can find on profit. Profit First is a great book. There's a book I just finished reading called Numbers. Oh, what's the name of that book? Oh, Simple Numbers. Simple Numbers. Just finished reading it. Loved it. It's a little heavy. Another book that I love on profitability is Profits Aren't Everything. They're the Only Thing. That's a really great book. Go read books on profitability until you get your business healthy and profitable. If you know your weakest link is sales, you're like, I hate selling. I'm not good at selling. I don't close the deal. I get in front of a customer and I freeze and I chicken out and I don't give them a price. So then I cowardly say, I'll email you the price, right? All that baloney. You should have left with the credit card and the key, right? If you struggle with sales, go study sales. I've got a sales training program coming up June 23rd. There are tons of books on sales, tons of courses. Go study sales if that's your weakest link. Get healthy now. Get healthy now. All right, guys. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. I hope this was the pep talk you needed. Lee Ann, was that what you needed to hear? Because she said she was very worried about the recession, and I think she was looking for hope. If you're still on here, Leanne, I don't know if you are. Leanne Man's Man or whatever that was. Let me know if this was the shot in the arm you needed. Anybody else that will comment, just comment into the comments, hashtag needed it. If you needed to hear this little bit of what I would call a tough love talk, just type in hashtag needed it. Thank you, Debbie, says Raylene. Thank you, dear. Hashtag needed it. If you needed this, right? Not everybody did, suppose, possibly. Oh, good, Leanne. Leanne, the best is yet to come, dear. The best is yet to come. I plan on growing during the recession. I'm going to tell you, we're going to hit $3 million next year. Good. Hashtag needed it. We all need a pep talk and a good smacking every now and then. So I'm here to smack you every now and then. So guys, go out and crush it. Go get healthy. You got several months before this hits. Let's be ready for it. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's grow during the recession, not shrink. Let's dominate during the recession, not shrivel. All right. You got it. Take care, everybody. I hope you have a great night. Go get registered for sales success training. Somebody type it in the chat really quick. You can go to www. So make sure you type that in. DebbieSardoneTraining.com. Go get registered. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. And if you don't love it, just say, hey, I didn't love it, and I'll give your money back. It's only $397, so it's not bad. Bad time to start with this business. Oh my gosh, this is the best time to start a cleaning business because you don't have baggage. Right? You don't have big overhead. So is it a bad time to start with this business? I don't believe it is. I've never seen a bad time, including during the pandemic. I've never seen a bad time to start a residential cleaning business. Never. So one of our star pupils in Cleaning Business Fundamentals, Morris McRae, started his residential cleaning business from zero 6 months before the pandemic. I mean, none of us knew. None of us knew. 6 months before the pandemic, he started his cleaning business. Guess what? He's, I believe he hit $1 million in March or April. $1 million. He started from zero. Isn't that insane? So if he can start a business 6 months before the pandemic, you can start a business 6 months to a year before the recession. It's all about the strategy. It is not about the external factors that are going on. It is about what you are doing. So most people think that their success or their failure is a result of them or it, right? Most people believe their success or their failure is a result of them or it. So them meaning, oh, I'm failing because I can't find any workers. I'm failing because there's too many cheap competitors. I'm failing because customers are too price sensitive, right? So we blame it on them or it. Oh, I'm failing because of the economy, or I'm failing because of the labor shortage, or I'm failing because of the pandemic of COVID-19, the shutdowns, right? So most people think their success or failure has something to do with them, and that is not true. I'm living proof. Your success or your failure is 100% dependent upon what you do in business. And most people are doing it wrong. And that's why they fail, period. Most people are doing it wrong. So Liliana, if you do business correctly, you will succeed and you will thrive and you will grow through a recession. If you do it incorrectly, you'll be stuck or you will go nowhere or you will go backwards or you will never start or you will go out of business. There's a right way and a wrong way to do business. All right. Let's see here. What was this comment here? This is me from Zero. Yay. Good. That is me. Great. Not sure what you mean, but awesome. All right, guys, I better sign off. Let's see here. Hey, let me make sure I didn't miss a question because I don't want anybody mad at me. Sometimes people get annoyed and send me little messages when I don't see their comments, and I don't ever do it on purpose. All right, guys, I hope you have a great night. We can do this. We'll do it together. If you want to know more about CBF, if you know you should be in the program, it's a 12-month mentorship program. Go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. If you're a CBF member, even if you're listening on the replay, weigh into the comments how it's changed your life. Just tell people how it's changed your life. And hopefully more people will get prepared better than ever before the recession. But go to cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com to learn more. Cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com to learn more. And this person said, I pray I get to join CBF. I have been skeptical but you're awesome. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. You know what? The best part about CBF is I give you a money back guarantee. It doesn't get any better than that. Nobody else does that. So our program works if you do the work, right? If you just follow the steps, which are very, very simple, it is an amazing program. It's really the best in the world. It's number one in the residential space in the world for helping people become mop-free millionaires. All right, guys. So, thank you, Joe. Joe says, don't hesitate. I agree. I mean, just don't hesitate, people. Just do it. It's less than $10,000. And I have a screaming easy payment plan that will blow your mind. So just don't delay. If you're in business, a residential cleaning business, and you aren't getting everything you believe you should out of your business, just look us up, cleaningbusinessfundamentals.com. All right. Cheers, everybody. Have a great night. Take care. Thanks, CBF members, for all your sweet comments and support. And hey, Pamela, great to see you. Bye, Amy. Great to see you. Amy says changed her life. Take care. Have a great night.